Hi everybody. Welcome to another podcast of Too Good to Be True podcast. Before we start this show, I want to send to my condolences to Cowboys player Marshawn Kneeland who passed away a couple of days ago in a suicidal uh w- gunshot in his chest. Um I just want my condolences to him and his family who lost their son at the age of 24. He was very young in his he was very young and he started his career with the Dallas Cowboys. And I want to say this that anybody who had a mental health issue, who had suicidal thought, go seek help because this is not the first time we've seen this, and this is not the last time we're gonna hear this. That mental health it is very, very, very serious. If you have anybody who you can talk to, go talk to that person. If you have issue, go seek help. We only have one life to live, and we always say this: life is so short in this earth. Just talk to that person, talk to your loved one, regardless of who you are, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, brown, blue, red, talk to that person because I can tell that many people who do have mental health, just like me, go to therapy, go talk to somebody because their life matters, people. Once again, my condolences to Marshawn Kneeland and his family. May rest his soul.
Dice is on the beat.
So, um, we are in this today podcast. We're gonna talk about the NFL trade. If you haven't seen it the week, I am recording this podcast on a Monday morning. On a Monday morning, so the week 10 is already started. I didn't even do the prediction. So so we're gonna talk. I want to record the NFL game on Tuesday morning where I am. So this is a recording for this Monday morning. So we got some subject we'll talk about. So let's get right to it. So let's talk about the NFL trade that happened a week ago. Started with Quinn Williams to the Dallas Cowboys. And the Jets get the DT Nazi Smith, 2026 second round draft pick, and a 2027 first round draft pick for the Dallas Cowboys. So actually for the New York Jets. Uh, what am I thought about this trade? I think it is great, a great draft pick, a great trade for the Dallas Cowboys on both sides. So the Jets are a rebuild team. You're gonna rebuild from the ground to up. So they're probably gonna It's gonna take a while, but I think that they were brilliant to do that. They were so brilliant to do that, in my opinion, because that was the right thing to do. What the Jets are doing now for the Cowboys, it is a this year is a waste of year, so they're not going to make the playoff. But adding Quinn Williams, not for this season, for the next season, I think is pretty bright for the Cowboys to do that. So there's nothing to add that. So for the Cowboys, I know it's a waste of time for this season. So prepare for next year's season. Another trade what the Jets did is trading Sauce Gardner to the Colts for a 2026 first round pick and a 2027 first round pick. And they get a wide receiver Adonai Mitchell from the Indiana Colts. What am I thought about this? I think, like I said, the same thing with the with the Quinn Williams thing. I think it's a phenomenal, a great idea. Both teams are the winner in this one. I see South Carolina helping uh, the Colts on the secondary, and the secondary on the DB side, and they need really help on the DB side for the Colts because they're having a great season. They're like 9-2 right now because we just saw the game in Berlin against the Falcons, which I will get when I pre-recorded on Tuesday morning. So don't get me. So I don't want to spoil everything, but I am talking about this for the Colts, and it also is a refreshing for Sauce Gardner from a losing situation to a winning situation. So great job for the Colts, and also great job for the Jet to get a wide receiver, Adonai Mitchell, and get two first round picks from 2026 and 2027. So they are, like I said in the previous thing, they are in a rebuild, a great rebuild for the Jets. Another trade that happened last week. Seattle Seahawks get Rashid Shaheed from my New Orleans Saints, and the New Orleans Saints get a fourth round pick and a fifth round pick in the 2026 draft picks. What am I thought about that? I was pretty curious as a Saints fan. I was pretty curious that one of those two gotta go. And I said that in my mind, I said Chris Olave is not going to go because he's not wide receiver number one, in my opinion. He's a real true wide receiver number one over Rashid Shaheed. So Rashid Shaheed gonna get traded anyway. He's probably like a second or third option on the in the wide receiver. So I'm not surprised about that. Now for the fourth round pick, I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Right, maybe they're gonna draft a QB. Maybe they're gonna draft other weapon around them, like another wide receiver, a running back. I don't know. I don't know what's the plan for the New Orleans Saints, but I'll trust the process with it. And another trade uh happened. Jacoby Meyer, wide receiver, got traded to the Jacksonville Jaguar, and the Raiders get the 2026 first round draft pick and the sixth round draft pick in the 2026 draft. So my thought is on this one, I think for Jacoby Meyer, it's a great addition for the Jacksonville. So they needed another weapon other than Travis Etienne Jr. and they needed a new another wide receiver like a threat So I think Jacoby Mayer can add something on this team, and also they're all probably they're in the hunt or in the wild card. In my opinion, they're in the walk in the hunt to be in the playoffs. So that's why they needed another wide receiver. So I like both sides what they did. The Eagles traded Jair Alexander from the Baltimore Raven in in exchange for a sixth round draft pick in 2026. So the Eagles get Jair Alexander and the 2027 seven round pick. I think Harris Roseman is cooking something. I don't know what is it, people. Howie Roseman is trying to cook something. I mean, he's cooking something. I don't know what it is, but I think they try to be a contender this year, and they are a contender, in my opinion. In my opinion, so something is cooking in Philly. So good job, Harry Roseman. And that's all for the NFL trade that happened last week. Moving on, we're still going to talk about the NFL. Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown has been arrested for custody of after he tried to attempt murder with a gun weapon during a celebrity boxing match, and he trying to escape to go to Dubai, and they arrested him. What am I thought about this? We don't know the full detail of this of the Antonio Brown. I heard that Antonio Brown wanted to protect himself. That's why he said. That's why he said. But we don't have the full detail on this story. But I will say this: I mean, Antonio Brown, he was going there when he was playing in the NFL with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can see he was going upward like this, and he had a case to be in the Hall of Fame. And nobody could tell me that Antonio Brown's not a Hall of Famer. He is a future Hall of Famer. No question about it. But his behavior has been suspicious ever since he had that concussion when Vontae Vontae Burfict knocked him out a couple of years ago, um, and and he went crazy. I mean, he went crazy, and we can see his behavior. Even when he threw and when he threw his jersey during the Jet game we was playing with the Buccaneers, I thought he was crazy. But something was going on, and Antonio Brown wasn't the same. He's not the same anymore. I mean, I hope everything will be okay, and we don't know the full detail, and that's why I said let the process start, and let's see what's gonna happen. Speaking on an issue, let's talk about the NBA. Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies wants to be traded elsewhere because he's not happy in Memphis, especially with the new coach. And according to a news I don't remember, so there's like seven, like 16 he that they add the favorite to he get traded. So one is the king, Two is the Heat, three is the Hawks, four is the Raptor, five is the Pelicans, six is with the Timberwolves. What am I thought about this? So let's start with the King. I don't see it playing with the Kings because they are a dysfunctional team. And I think they're not going anywhere. They're not making the playoff. That could be. They'll be lucky if they make it the play-in. We'll be lucky. And in the case to get Ja Morant, I don't think so. The reason why I say no because that means you got to trade Sabonis between Sabonis, Zach LaVine, or DeMar DeRozan. I don't think DeMar is going to leave. Zach LaVine probably going to get traded. You sprinkle out with a couple another with role players and a couple of draft picks to get Ja Morant, but I don't think this is going to happen. So I'll scratch that. And also I will scratch the Hawks and the Raptors. Number one, and the reason why I scratched the Hawks and the Raptors. So let's start with the Hawks. The Hawks. That means you got to trade Trey Young to a Memphis Grizzlies that is and probably I don't know in a rebuild, and they're a young team. Trey Young needs to go to a team that has a lot of veteran, and that he's not the number one option. He's like number two or number three option. So scrap that. In the case of my Raptors, I don't see with my Raptors, so put that in bed. And the reason why I say not my Raptors because they are a playing team, and you have Emmanuel quickly. Where does John Morant fit? That's the issue. You got Scotty Barnes on the power forward, Brandon Ingram between Brandon Ingram in the small forward, RJ Barrett in the shooting guard. He does not fit with the Raptors, so I scrapped that. The Heat, the Pelican, and Timberwolves is very interesting. And the reason why I say it's very interesting because um, let's start with the Heat. The Heat, in order to get John Morant, I think you need to trade Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero, another player. You get another draft pick. You get draft pick, or you could do like a three teams, a three thing. Three team. You can add another team on it, a couple of draft pick to get John, and then he get John Morant. Somebody get Andrew Wiggins. Sorry, not Andrew and Tyler Hero. But I don't think the Heat is. It's not a team uh, for John Morant. Pelican or Timberwolves kind of makes sense because let's start with the Pelicans. Pelicans, I think John Morant would love to play with Zion Williamson. That means you had to trade Jordan Poole. Actually, the Jonathan Murray. Sorry, my bad. The Jonathan Murray who's not playing this season. And sorry, I got a something on my nose. You gotta trade the Jonathan Murray, a couple of players and a draft pick and a cash. In my opinion, that's my opinion to get John Morant. Now in the Timberwolves, that's pretty much interesting because I would love to see you play with. I would love, and I mean this. I would love to see John Morant and Anthony Arab because those two guys can be entertaining with each other. I think they're gonna fit. I think they're good fit with each other. But that means you gotta trade Mike William, Mike Conley, my bad, Mike Conley, couple one or two players with a draft pick. You send Mike Conley back to Memphis where this career started, and they need a true point guard. And I don't think the point guard who they drafted a couple of years ago. I believe his name is Ty Dillinger. Yeah, Ty Dillinger, Dillinger. I don't think he's ready. So, in my opinion, I do not think Ty Dillinger is going to get traded because he's the future. But I will pack him anyway, send him to Memphis to flourish his game a little bit on a bad team. But I'm open for Ja Morant playing with Anthony Edwards, and I think probably it's going to work. Um, Moving on from the Ja Morant, and let's talk about the NBA Cup. The NBA Cup a little bit. We're just gonna give the result. We're gonna give the result of the NBA Cup if those people who did not see this. And I know I recorded this on Monday and already is already passed, but we are. I am talking about a little bit the cup, so I'm gonna add that on this podcast. So I'm gonna give the result. So, no, Raptor versus the Atlanta Hawks. Raptor win 109 to 97. Celtics and Magic. Magic win 123 to 110. 110. Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Washington Wizards 148 to 115. The Pistons win 125 to 107. The San Antonio Spurs beat the Houston Rockets 121 to 110. Miami Heat beat the Charlotte Hornets 126 to 108. Memphis Grizzlies, that's I kept talking about Ja Morant, beat uh the Dallas Mavericks 118 to 104. The Milwaukee Bucks beat the Chicago Bulls 126 to 110. The Timberwolves beat the Utah Jazz 137 to 97. The Nuggets beat the Warriors 129 to 104. And the OKC beat the Kings 132 to 101. Sorry. That's the result of the um NBA Cup. And we also I want to talk about the surprise team, the standing of the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. So let's talk about the East a little bit and who which team I am surprised. Right now I'm pretty much surprised. So if you look at the Eastern Conference, the Detroit Pistons first, the Cavs second, the Bulls third, the Philly fourth, New York Knicks five, Miami six, Milwaukee seven, the Toronto Raptors eight, Atlanta nine, Orlando 10, Boston 11, the Charlotte Hornets 11, the Nets 13, the Pacers 14, Wizards 15. Which team I am surprised? I am surprised. Actually, I am surprised at the Philadelphia 76ers and the Chicago Bulls. And the reason why I'm surprised with both teams, and let's pick the Philadelphia first, because I did predict that in the beginning of the season. I think that the Philadelphia 76ers can be a surprise team. Regarding the injury of Joel Embiid, regarding the Paul George situation, and I think Philadelphia could surprise anybody in the East. Even though the East is wide open, Philly can be a threat. Now you're telling me, but wait a minute. You said a couple minutes ago that it would depend on Joel Embiid. Yeah, yes, it will depend on the health of Joel Embiid. But if you look at it very closely, look at what Tyrese Max is doing. Look at the rookie VJ Edgecombe is doing. I mean, my God, they're doing phenomenal things. And they're phenomenal without Joel Embiid and George Paul George on the court. Even though Joel Embiid in a restriction minute, but they are a surprising team. They are surprising me. And I'm not going to be surprised that they make the playoff. Another team they are surprising, the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls surprised me a lot. No, I did not see that coming from the Bulls. I did not see that coming. And the reason why I did not see that coming because I know um, Kobe White's injured. He's injured. Josh Giddey elevated his game. He's elevating his game. Took it to another level. He could be a all star this year in the East. So continue to good work, Chicago, and and let's see what's gonna happen in December, January to April. Now in the Western Conference, let's talk about this. So number one, OKC, the Spurs 2, Denver 3, Lakers 4, Houston 5, Timberwolves 6, Portland 7, Golden State 8, Phoenix 9, Memphis 10, Sac 11, Jazz 12, Clipper 13, Maverick 14, and the Pelican 15. Which is my surprise team in the West? In the West, there's like three teams, but I'm not, I doubt it. So let's start with the San Antonio Spurs. They are a surprise team. With Victor Wembanyama coming back from this block clock he had last season, and he's elevated his game. He's elevated his game like we have never seen something like this in the NBA history. I mean, Victor Wembanyama with Kevin Castles, Vessel. Now, De'Aaron Fox came back from injury. They can be scary in the playoffs. They can be a very scary team. If I remember last season, I said the Spurs could be in the play-in team, in the play-in team right before he Victor got the block clock. And now that Victor is playing very well, I think the Spurs can make noise in the playoffs just for now. But let's see what's going to happen in December and even in March. So the Spurs are my surprise team. Portland, they're pretty much a surprise team to me, even though they're probably going to be in a playing team. Um, they surprised me a lot with the Chauncey Billups situation. I mean, they're playing hard, even though Scoot Henderson. I don't think Scoot Henderson has started playing yet, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I know Scoot Henderson hasn't played a game yet this season. He hasn't played a game yet, but he hasn't played a game yet. But I think with Scoot Henderson will be very interesting to see what's gonna happen. But Portland, like I said, they're gonna be a playing team. Phoenix, like I said, Phoenix, they're surprised, but same thing with Memphis. I put Memphis and Grizzlies together as like a one because we don't know with the job situation he's going to get traded. If they get traded, they are rebuilding. So that's for the Memphis Grizzlies. For the Phoenix Sun, yes, you got Devin Booker, but I don't think that's enough that they can make the play in. So that's probably my surprise team of the East and the West. But it's early right now. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you want to follow me this podcast, follow me on Instagram Pascal underscore Mayala underscore 15. Same thing with Thread, Facebook Pascal Mayala. You can listen to this podcast on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can listen to this podcast on my YouTube channel, Too Good to Be True. Make sure to subscribe, like, notify, leave your comment on my video. And that being said, thank you, and I'll see you uh, next time when I will record um, Tuesday morning